How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the 3 trades I took on SPY. I made a bit of a mistake in the morning, wasn't paying attention to the time, and was in a trade when news came out. I was on the wrong side of that news and took a pretty big loss right in the beginning of the day. So the next 2 trades I had were kind of clawing back and recovering some of that loss. Ended up the day very slightly green, but green nonetheless. So I'll go into that in just a minute. We're looking at the daily time frame. A few levels that were of relevance were this 458.26, the most recent 52-week high around 459.5, a level above us around 460.25, and then yesterday's high and the pre-market high, which we'll take a look at. Where I got that, so we were looking pretty bullish and looking like we were going to set a new 52-week high. So I panned out back in time a bit and found a level relevant to where we were that I felt, we could get some price reaction in that area. And that was this level right here, which is 460.25 or so. Reason being, you can see there's resistance over here, support, support in here, resistance in here. Over here, we got a bit of a fake out before a big rejection on that swing high. So that's kind of what I was looking for. I was looking for a level close to where we were that had some, some price action, whether it be big bounces or big rejections off of that area. So that is how I found that area kind of intraday as, I was trading. That's what I was looking at to watch. Take a quick look here. So we had this level here around 458.9, just right below 459 or so. The past couple days, it was the high of day, so a relevant level to watch for. We had the pre-market high as well, and that's really about what we were watching there. All right, so first trade that I took puts here. And reason being is that we've been kind of chopping around in these ranges. We had broken above and immediately kind of fell and broke back below. I thought that this could be a fake out here, like a fake breakout, and that once we broke below and we started rejecting here, that maybe we could see price kind of revert back to the bottom of this channel. So that was my first trade. Not mad at it. I don't think it was a terrible trade. I had pretty tight risk. I was watching the 2-minute as well, so we'll take a look at that. This is what I was watching. So I entered here, and that is because, or perhaps I entered on this candle. I apologize. So once we had rejected on the 2-minute, I saw us close below. I saw high volume on that rejection and that sell and break below this level. I saw lower volume on the retest, fail to break above, and I entered here. Everything was looking pretty good. I just did not realize what time it was. I knew that we had news coming out. I just was not paying attention to the time, and that news came out right at 8 o'clock. You see that massive spike in volume. You see that we just gapped up immediately. So my puts got crushed here. I cut as soon as I realized what happened. I saw this print. I got out as soon as I could. I wasn't waiting for a pullback or anything like that. I realized I made a mistake. I don't like to trade news because you don't know what's going to happen. So that was just a pretty rookie mistake, a silly mistake on my part that was completely avoidable. So yeah, I sold out when I could. I took like about a 50-60% loss. Luckily I had a small size. I only took one contract here. But that burnt me pretty bad, and definitely affected my mentality, trading today for sure. As I took a much bigger loss than I was expecting to. I was kind of dealing with the fact that I had let myself be, oblivious to the time. That's something that I should not slack about. I should not, feel lackadaisical and just kind of miss something like that. So that was my first trade of the day. Got blasted, absolutely roasted. took a 50% loss, and I was down about $37 on the morning, which is much bigger than I normally like to lose. Typically, I would have kept that loss to like $8 to $10 for a single contract. That would have been a more sizable, manageable loss. So that kind of really got me. With that being said, we looked really strong. We kept the next level I had up above was 459.54. We blasted through that like nothing, came down, retested it, came up. And this is where I was searching for that next level as we were kind of pushing up and making new highs, or looking like we might. I had nothing charted above us, so I wanted to find a level where we might possibly stop or get a pullback. That was this level, and you can see pretty much time the top right here. So I took puts. I took puts right at the top here. I saw us close this 5-minute candle below. I saw increased volume as we kind of pushed up and got rejected at that level. I was watching the 2-minute as well, so we'll take a look at that. And you can see some of this price action, push up, immediately sell down, try to retest, can't break it. So I entered somewhere on this candle or this candle, I can't remember which. I sold way too early, and this is something that I'm learning that I do, and I think that today particularly I sold too early because I already had a much bigger loss than I wanted to, and I was really just kind of looking to recover that rather than maybe focusing on the trade itself. And I think I was a little nervous about losing more money and incurring like a massive loss. So I definitely traded. I didn't enter my trades hesitantly, but I exited them quickly out of anxiety or fear of losing money, perhaps. So I took puts up here. It would have been an insane trade had I held. I sold the first one after there. So they're 460, same day expiration, so slightly out of money. I sold the first one on this push down when we broke 460. I sold the second on this candle as we were approaching this level. So decent little trade. You know, I didn't have a strict plan. Realistically, I probably should have held both till this level, trimmed one and let one run. That's 2020 hindsight, obviously, as we dropped pretty massively from there. Contracts ran well over 100% on that. So I got a cool, 20, 30%, whatever it may be, 20% probably closer on this. I took 2 contracts. That made up most of my loss. My second trade was calls right here. And the reason being is because in the morning we were looking pretty bullish. What did we do? We came up and tested this pre-market high and rejected before I took my first trade here. And that was the previous high day before we blasted off in this rally. So we had some orders here, or at least I assumed we had, because we got a reaction out of this before. So as we came down into this space and watching us, take note of this, look at the volume on this candle, really high volume, but the smaller candle body. And what did we do? We tried to break that pre-market low and we held it. And what are we in? The same exact region that we bounced off of earlier in the morning. Broken resistance becomes support, and that was the thesis for this trade. So I took a call here. I sold on this candle. It was 459, same thing, slightly out of the money, same day expiration calls. I took one position here and I sold once we hit 459. That was like a 15% move. It was really small. I was a little nervous taking calls here, even though I liked what I was seeing and I felt like my thesis was correct, that we were entering an area that we'd rejected off of. We kind of blasted right through it. Never really got a good chance to come down and retest this area. I suppose maybe this wick here, but you see that what that wick did. We came down and retested this area and then immediately rallied to the upside. So I felt pretty good that we'd get a bounce in this area, especially after that aggressive sell-off. So entered a call here and took a really quick scalp for about 15%. It was a little over 10%. I don't know the exact amount, but it was a little over 10%, not quite 20%. This is kind of what it looked like on the 5-minute. So the 2-minute is more what I was watching. The 5-minute looks a bit more risky. But look again, I sold too early, right? I sold at 459. Once we hit that, we rallied almost to the high a day. That's, from 458.75 to 460, that's $1.25. That's a beautiful move, especially on a same day expiration. That probably would have been 100% return. I'm not saying that you can time them perfectly, but I will say that I timed my entries perfectly. on both of these trades. I pretty much timed the bottom or the top up here and the bottom respectively. So I'm dialing in my entries. I feel like I'm being patient. I'm watching the right things. I'm in the right place. I think just maybe having a bit more conviction and holding longer. But that's probably easier said than done for me today, because I did make a pretty big mistake right off the bat. And I think that affected my mental in terms of selling kind of early and just taking profits once I saw those profits. Regardless, I am proud that I was able to come back from that initial loss. That was a much bigger loss I'd normally take. And I actually ended up green a few dollars on the day. So we're on a winning streak, and that will continue into next week. So green every day this week. I think going back to last Thursday or last Friday, I feel like I'm finding a lot more consistency in my trading. I feel like I'm really starting to find what works for me, what I feel comfortable doing. And I think there's just some places to really dial in. When I look at this, I talked about it in a previous video, but my position management, my trade management, managing my position while I'm in an active trade, I think is one thing that I could really improve on. I think my entries, I think my levels, I think watching price action, volume, multiple time frames. I also watch the 1 hour. So I feel like I'm really putting it together. I'm understanding kind of the trades I'm taking, but maybe not there yet in terms of really maximizing the potential of these trades, as I'm definitely leaving a lot of money on the table, especially this big drop. Well, both of these were big moves, volatile moves that would have had a pretty insane impact on the premiums. So I'm happy that I was able to come back from that initial loss. I'm a little salty that I took it in the first place. Had I noticed that it was 8 o'clock and news was coming out, I would have not entered that trade. Definitely not. So kind of battling from coming back a little bit today, but I am proud that I was able to take some trades, and not be scared to enter a trade when I saw something that I liked. So that's all I have. I'm stoked for next week. I'm stoked to keep this running. We broke out of the range. We'll see if that stays. But we've kind of been in this range for how long? Bouncing around in here. I kind of got a fake breakout before falling right back into it. Gapped up, sold right back into it. So we've been in this range for a while. I think it's due that we either break out or we reject or do something. But with that being said, I am feeling better about things. I feel like I'm finally kind of finding my rhythm a little bit. I just need to tune some things in. Obviously, I have a lot to learn. I'm not perfect by any means, but I do find myself on the right side of trades more often than not lately, and that's an encouraging sign. But yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I do trade live every Monday through Friday. So next week, come stop by Monday, say what's up, hop in the stream. That's all I got for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day. Peace.